Now let's look at part 2 of flexitarian eating. I broke it into 2 parts so that you could hear first the concept of us being able to customize different ways of eating. Now I just want to bring it into why we look at flexitarian eating in a way of not having sacrificed eating. Some people want to adopt a vegetarian, vegan type of way of lifestyle, and I welcome that. It can be very, very healthy. It's very high in plant-based foods, which are quite recommended. Lots of fiber, lots of antioxidants. What I look for are the holes in the system. If we're missing components like meat, poultry, fish, for instance, we might be missing out on omega-3s. We might be low in our protein, or the way that protein is processed in our body. We might be missing out on iron or B12. And so I look for the potentials of those holes and then find ways to strategize to fill them up. For instance, if a person wants to follow a vegan or vegetarian diet, I mean, there's so many different types of vegetarian diets. Some still have eggs, some still have fish, some still have dairy. In any case, we want to ensure that if you're not consuming fish, that we find ways to increase your omega-3s in other forms, which we can. If we're using a vegan way of eating, great. You'll want to know that protein in plant-based form is absorbed differently and they're incomplete. In other words, in animal proteins, they are already complete. We usually tend to absorb them a little bit better. And that's one way of looking at it. The other is rice by itself has protein. Peanuts by themselves have protein, but they're both incomplete. But when you put bread and peanut butter together, for instance, they become complete. Let me say that again. When we have bread, which has protein, and nuts that have protein, each incomplete, and they're plant-based. But you put them together, they are complete. Rice with protein, beans with protein, both incomplete, put them together, they become complete. So we want to complete our proteins and ensure that we have proper muscle build and so forth. Same be said for iron. There's iron in raisins, in spinach, many other products. And there's definitely iron and B12, for instance, in our animal proteins. Iron, when it is combined with vitamin C, will absorb better. So when we're having things like spinach, we want to make sure that we're having something with vitamin C containing alongside so that that iron in the spinach is absorbed better. This is something that I elaborate on when I work with you one-on-one. I wanted to just introduce the fact that flexitarian eating is a welcomed way of eating, meaning it is your choice on how you're going to navigate your way of life based on your culture, based on your weight desire, based on whether you're weight training, your protein needs, your iron needs. All of this will change accordingly. And it's my job to customize a healthy, wholesome plan that works for you in your request that way. But you don't know what you don't know. And so it's important just to double check, do a nutrition checkup with me. To do your flexitarian way of eating is to allow maybe all components to come in, but maybe you have an 80-20 rule. You have an 80-20 rule of, for the most part, I eat plant-based foods, and a good part of the time, I want to ensure that I, at the end of the week or at the beginning of the week, have enough meat proteins that I'm having my iron and B12. That's one approach. For others, it might be a flip of that ratio. So nonetheless, we build that. I'll even go so far as creating theme weeks if it's a family and they're looking at navigating into this healthy way of eating and they're just introducing this, trying new things. So we might do Meatless Monday, Taco Tuesday, Walk Wednesday, Travel the World Thursday, Fun Friday, and Saturday Sports Day, and Sunday Soul Day. And that's a theme creation of a week that I often do. Flexitarian way of eating, and I welcome to do that with you. Thanks again for tuning in, and I see you then right at the next module here in just a moment.